Welcome to PRIA Health and Fitness Academy. So today I'm actually with Kristi. My name is Frederick Lade, and Kristi has complained of a few issues. So we're going to find out basically what's going on. And I'm going to do what I normally do with clients when I see people for the first time, which is a simple assessment. So Kristi, if you want to share a little bit what's going on and what kind of symptoms you have.
And then I can't squat since I had a baby about 4 months ago.
Okay.
I have pain in my knees if I squat too far.
You mentioned knee issue, for instance, when you squat, right? So describe me the pain, and if you can demonstrate by just sitting even on the chair.
The chair isn't as, like it's right here in the...
Right in the front, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So would you stand back up? How much pain do you have when you stand up?
It's not bad when I stand up.
How much pain? Or do you have
Probably
any?
like just about a 3 out of 10 probably.
3 out of 10. So we want to hear those numbers, okay, in an assessment. Because it is hard for people to imagine that it can be better in just a few minutes. It is hard for their mind, not for their body. Their body might be pain-free in a few minutes, but when you've been in pain for so long, it is really, really hard to accept mentally that now suddenly you're pain-free, right? Particularly if you've seen doctors, orthopedists, physical therapists, chiropractors, God knows, everybody under the sun, and you still have issues. Do you have a knee that hurts more than the other?
No.
Oh, they're both hurting evenly?
Yes.
Well, you're lucky.
Now my right hip hurts worse than but my knees both hurt.
Okay, so it's called equal opportunity. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain something very typical. And what I'm going to explain is that very often when people have knee pain, like what Kristi has, and I've never seen an exception yet so far, though I'm saying there might be one out there, within 4 or 5 inches above the patella, the bone of the knee that is right in the front, there is a 4 to 5 inches space where you find knots. Sometimes they are like just pebbles, like a little marble. Sometimes they're like a pencil or a cable that covers multiple muscles, right? Which shouldn't be the case normally, but that's the case when tension that are chronic settle around the area. And so I'm going to fish for them and see if they're there. Okay, that's the number one thing. And then I'm going to do something very simple. And we're going to see, it's a 3-step within the protocol of the knee protocol in this case. It's a 3-step process that takes less than 2 minutes that usually takes the pain away right away. So let's find out. I'm going to do the assessment first. Let's find out if those knots are there. Okay. Do you allow me to press right there? So what I do is I'm going to put my thumb this way, right, just above the patella. You don't have to hang on to the chair. Right?
I'm getting scared.
I'm afraid. Okay. Naturally, if you find a knot, sometimes those knots are painful, sometimes they're not.
Okay.
When they've been chronic for a very long time, they're so tight, there's very little blood flow, there's no pain. And once you start to actually elongate the muscle, then suddenly you start to have sensitivity because the muscle becomes healthy again. And sometimes when they're not that bad, right, not as chronic and not as bad, then there's blood flow in there, the muscle is just very tight in that area, called adhesion or knots. And then there will be sensitivity. Mm-hmm. So if there's sensitivity, I'll feel it anyway. My goal is not to hurt you, but my goal is to put enough pressure to see when all the knots are there and where they are.
Okay.
Because remember, quadricep means
4
muscles. And that means that we may have to work on different muscles to target those knots, right? Mm-hmm. So I need to fish a little bit there, if you don't mind, right? So I'm going to go, and I'm starting right above the patella, and here's one. Feel that? Mm-hmm. Right? Here too. Yeah. And I'm not pressing very hard. Look at that. That's really bad. This one is like a cable. I'm going a little bit higher. Not as bad here. So it's mostly here. Look at that. Feel that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind if I do the same on the other side?
Yeah.
Equal opportunity?
Yeah, equal.
Okay. So here's something. I'm starting above the patella because sometimes it's right above here, right? So I'm going here. Oh, look at that. Same here. Oh, really bad here. Okay. Good. See, nothing here. It's all here. Nothing here. So it's all here, and this one is all here. Make sense?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So those knots, what do those knots do? Well, think about a rubber band. Right? So do you mind to move your hands a little bit away?
Sorry.
So a rubber band is attached up here. So it's like a muscle. It's attached from the hip. Right? So I'm going to go this way so people can see. It's attached from the hip up here, going down all the way to the patella right here. Patella is attached right here to tibia and fibula. Well, All this is fine and dandy, at the exception that if you have a knot, that part of the muscle is actually not stretching. It doesn't work. It's already contracted, it's like that, right? So what does it do? It shortens the muscle, which creates what? Compression, because the shortened muscle is like a rubber band pulling on your joint going this way. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what creates compression.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what happens is, again, when you have a knot or adhesion here, you're talking about a part of a muscle that is literally like a knot, like a fist, basically. And one of the byproducts of that is that it shortens the muscle, because naturally that part of the knot, and the bigger it is, obviously, the least it's going to stretch. What happens is that that muscle being shortened brings the tibia fibula into the joint of the knee against the femur, creating compression, ultimately cartilage wear, bone on bone, all that stuff. I've never found an exception working now with thousands of people. There's always, with this kind of symptoms, where the pain is in the front or deep in the joint, you always have those knots at the bottom, right? So there are 3 steps in the protocol that literally fixes this very fast. So I'm going to do the protocol, and we're going to reassess, right?
Okay.
So earlier you said there was a 3 doing a squat, right? So we're going to do something a little bit worse, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. If you want to stand up.
Okay.
Good. I'm going to move the chair back a little bit, and I want you to do a regular squat. Okay?
Yeah, that's where it's going to
Well,
hurt.
what I want you to do, the goal is not to hurt. The goal is for you to do what you can, go as low as you're comfortable to go, and gauge, we're going to gauge the range of motion and the pain level from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
Only go as far as you're comfortable.
Right there.
Good.
Oh,
How much pain from 1 to 10?
that goes about like a 9.
Like a 9 was
Yeah.
quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Good. You don't move, and I don't want you to move your feet.
Okay.
Go ahead, you're going to sit back. Perfect. So now move your feet back a little bit. Good.
Back this way.
Forward a little bit. Beautiful. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do basically the protocol.
Okay.
Okay, if you allow me. I'm going to do it using my hands. At home, there are different techniques to do it, which is very simple.
Okay.
It's going to take 2 minutes,
Okay.
maybe 4, because we do both legs, right? So, would you please do a squat?
My goodness.
Now, go ahead, open your feet a little bit wider, like you were earlier, and now do a squat.
Oh my.
Now, how much pain?
Probably like a 2.
It was a 9,
Yes.
right? Okay, now go as low as you can. You feel like you're going lower than earlier?
I feel like I am. Am I?
You look like it, but you don't feel as much pain.
No.
Right, so it took maybe, what, 3 minutes?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
crazy.
Now, the point is just to do that every day.
Yeah.
It's a very simple process when it comes to the knee protocol, right? And that's really simple. 3 little steps.
Right.
All right, Kristi, thank you so much for participating in this.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's awesome.
That's crazy.
All right, thank you guys.